Hi, I'm Jason Jones Hall, and I've been using Twitter for my own creative business and as a business development and creative platform for other creative and cultural organisations for more than 12 years. Today I'm going to try and strike the tricky balance between Twitter for beginners and also throw in some pro tips that might be new to even more experienced users. We're going to look at Twitter as a research tool, growing your following, securing new business or funding, and promoting your business. After its initial promise, a lot of people now dismiss Twitter as being filled with half-baked celebrity opinions, online hate mobs, extreme opinions, and whatever bizarre nonsense Donald Trump's talking about these days. The truth is, Twitter's just like any other communications platform. You get out of it what you put in. And when it's used well, it can be a powerful tool for you and your business. There's lots of guides out there that can tell you how to use Twitter as a marketing platform, and I'll touch upon that later. But for me, the real strength of Twitter is in how to use it for R&D and to find and develop new business opportunities. I'm going to focus on some of the less obvious features and benefits of the platform. Twitter provides up-to-the-minute news and conversation in real time, tailored precisely to your interests. Think of it as a 24/7 networking event. Not actually as hellish as it sounds, because you control the guest list and you can dip in and out of it whenever you want. Try to follow a healthy mix of any of the following: organisations and businesses who you're aligned with or who you see as an influencer, a potential client or competitor. This gives you the current corporate line on current issues. Individuals who work in organisations that you follow. This can sometimes give you greater insight or a more personal take than the corporate line. Media organisations and specialist trade press relevant to your industry. Remember to also follow people, organisations or media who you might not see eye to eye with, the kind of people who you wouldn't dream of inviting to a networking event. One of the common criticisms of Twitter is that it can be a bit of an echo chamber, so it's important to get some diversity of opinion in your Twitter feed that's more representative of what the wider community is actually saying. Prune and refresh your list of people you are following regularly. Don't be scared of unfollowing people who don't add value, but don't unfollow people just because you disagree with them. If you cultivate a good list of people and organisations to follow, you'll quickly find that this in itself is an invaluable research tool. It's like aggregating your daily news from all the most relevant sources. But beware of the time suck. It's all too easy to think, I'll just pop on Twitter to catch up with the news, and then find yourself sucked into this ever-flowing stream of content and losing a whole morning. Set yourself sensible time limits. Twitter's search tool is your friend if you're looking for something specific. Search for keywords, places, people, trends. It's particularly useful for finding out what people are saying right now about a live event or hot news piece, with or without a hashtag. It's particularly valuable for following conversations around events, conferences or webinars. See what the audience is saying about a speaker or a subject in real time and engage in that conversation, usually by clicking on the hashtag. If you're watching this video live, try searching for the hashtag second tweets, for example. I've scheduled a bunch of tweets to coincide with this talk as an illustration of how this works, and feel free to reply using this hashtag if you have any follow-up questions about Twitter. Here's a short URL to a free Twitter sentiment analysis tool. This tool gives you all sorts of useful data about what people are saying right now around any given keyword and breaks down those tweets into, for example, pleasant or unpleasant, active or subdued. Here's how people on Twitter are feeling about the word Folkestone right now, for example. Generally positive, that's nice. Also check out the tag clouds and affinity map, showing connections between these tweets. Each one of these circles is a clickable series of tweets around that subject. One of the quickest ways to grow your following is to follow other people with similar interests or in a similar field. If they spot you on the same wavelength, chances are they'll follow you right back. First of all, make sure your profile page, banner, username and bio is the best presentation of you and your business. Include links to your website or LinkedIn page, for example, too. I often look to see what sort of stuff people post before deciding whether to follow them, and I assume they'll do the same. So make sure you post good stuff. Sounds obvious. Find and retweet quality content from diverse news sources. If there's a big article in The Guardian or on the BBC about creative industries or culture, chances are a lot of people in the industry will have already seen it. So look out for those juicy stories from more left field sources, or even set up some Google alerts for them. The kind of stuff you read and think, oh, that's interesting, hadn't heard that one. Let people see that you are a good source of intel. Post your own content as well as just retweeting others, and not just promoting your business, products or events. Twitter's a great marketing tool, but if all you're doing is advertising your wares all the time, that can be kind of sucky. Venture out into posting thoughts on key issues, or dive into conversations and add thoughtful comments on big issues of the day. Ever wanted to be a thought leader? Now's the chance. Format images and videos before posting them. Visual content like images and videos can be a great way of engaging with people, but be mindful that Twitter will automatically crop images when they appear in a Twitter stream. You only see the full image if the user clicks on it, and this can have unfortunate results, like this classic from Jon Stewart. As a rule of thumb, Twitter images should be in landscape or widescreen format, exactly twice as wide as it is high. Here's a link to a social media image size cheat sheet with recommended image sizes for most social media platforms. You might pop up in a search, or one of the best ways to get noticed is to engage in discussions on Twitter. Like other people's tweets, retweet their stuff and reply to them too. This will pop up in their notifications, so it's literally a great way of getting noticed. It's also a good place for you to find other people who might be worth following. Be respectful, be challenging, and be yourself. It's okay to post personal views. A lot of people put disclaimers on their Twitter profile to make sure people are aware that they're going to do that. But be aware that how you represent yourself on Twitter is also how you represent your business. It's worth remembering you can have multiple accounts on Twitter. This can be useful if you're setting up Twitter accounts for a client or a project, or if you want to separate out your personal account from one that you use for your business. The only slight hurdle is that you need a dedicated email address for each new account. Most web hosting services will allow you to set up multiple email addresses if you own your own domain name, or you can create a new Gmail account solely for this purpose. If you followed that first vital step of cultivating a good list of people to follow, you'll find you're always one of the first to hear about open calls, commissions, or new funding opportunities. New business opportunities on Twitter generally fall into two broad categories: direct calls to action and indirect insights on what's happening with potential clients or targets that can help create your own opportunities or inform your own pitches. I've lost track of how many business opportunities I've found this way. In fact, it even goes so far as to say that pretty much every single opportunity I've developed over the past 5 or 6 years has come through from Twitter in one way or another. Just taking a quick random glance through my timeline this morning, I found a good 4 or 5 opportunities just waiting to be actioned. And it's easy to see stuff and think, oh, I'll come back to that later, and then forget to do so. Liking or bookmarking a tweet may be a useful way of logging it, but it's also a good way of just storing loads of stuff that you never look at again. If it's something really important that I definitely want to follow up on, I tend to email the tweet to myself and then make sure I follow up on it. Indirect leads can come from events you find out about through Twitter, or just by following a person, company or organisation and picking up on some intel or insight that can give you an idea for how to approach them or make a pitch. Think of it as an opportunity to get to know who you're pitching to before you pitch to them. You might see, for example, that a target business posts a tweet saying they've just won a new high-value contract. That means they can need your services to help fulfill it. Twitter gives you the opportunity to seize that moment. Don't be shy to reply directly to that tweet and make that connection right there and then. Finally, and if you really must, promote your stuff. Post links to your content, events, products, blogs, news, and connect with your own audience. Bearing in mind the ephemeral nature of Twitter, one tweet is rarely enough. Use a social media management tool like Hootsuite to pre-draft and schedule a whole series of tweets. Send them every few hours throughout the day at timed intervals with slight variations in each tweet so it doesn't get too repetitive or look too desperate for people who see every single one of them. The free version of Hootsuite gives you up to 30 scheduled messages a month, or you can have an unlimited scheduled messages and a host of other features with a paid pro version starting at £25 per month. And since there's no annual contract, this is a good option if you just need to send scheduled tweets for a one-off or a time-bound project or event. I hope that's been useful. Do use the hashtag and send me a tweet at pioneeringek if you have any other questions, and I'd be happy to try and help out when I can. Thanks a lot.